If you parallel park facing downward on a hill, A. Turn your wheels sharply toward the side of the road. B. Turn your wheels away from the side of the road. C. Keep your wheels straight. A. Turn your wheels sharply toward the side of the road. When parking downhill, turn your front wheels toward the curb or edge of the road. When parking uphill on a road without a curb, turn your wheels toward the edge of the road. When parking uphill on a road with a curb, you must turn your front wheels away from the curb. When may you drive on the shoulder of the road? A. Only when told to do so by an official. B. When the car in front of you is driving too slowly. C. When the car in front of you is turning. A. Only when told to do so by an official. If you pass on the right, do so only when conditions permit you to do so legally and safely. You may only drive on the shoulder of a road if an official has directed you to do so. What does this road sign mean? A. Winding road. B. Loose gravel. C. Slippery when wet. C. Slippery when wet. This sign indicates that the road may be slippery when wet. Exercise caution when driving on a slippery road. If your vehicle has a mechanical problem, A. Signal and pull into the slow lane. B. Stop in your lane and put on your hazard lights. C. Put on your hazard lights and pull off the road. C. Put on your hazard lights and pull off the road. If your vehicle breaks down on a highway, make sure other drivers can see it. Get your vehicle off the road and away from traffic if at all possible, and turn on your emergency flashers to show that you are having trouble.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
To know where traffic is behind you? A. Frequently check your rear-view mirror. B. Turn and look out your back window. C. Keep other vehicles out of your blind spots. A. Frequently check your rear-view mirror. Drivers should check their rear-view mirrors often to stay aware of the position of traffic behind them. When backing up, A. Look through the rear window. B. Press hard on the gas pedal. C. Rely only on your rear-view mirror. A. Look through the rear window. When backing up, place your right arm on the back of the passenger seat and look directly through the rear window. Do not depend on your rear-view or side mirrors, as mirrors do not show directly behind your vehicle. Only drive in reverse at a low speed. If there is a deep puddle on the road ahead, you should A. Maintain the posted speed to make it through the water. B. Avoid the puddle if possible. C. Shift into neutral as you drive through the water. B. Avoid the puddle if possible. To prevent skidding on slippery surfaces, avoid especially slippery areas, such as ice patches, wet leaves, oil, or deep puddles. The safest surface for driving is a dry, solid surface. This sign shows one type of A. Right turn. B. Intersection. C. Lane change. B. Intersection. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign warns that your current road ends at an intersection straight ahead. Slow down and prepare to yield or stop before turning right or left. This sign means A. Curves ahead. B. Divided highway starts. C. Divided highway ends. C. Divided highway ends. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign warns that the divided highway ends ahead. Prepare to change lanes or shift lane position. Driving under the influence of any medication which impairs your driving is permitted. A. Under no circumstances. B. If you don't feel drowsy. C. If it is prescribed by a physician. A. Under no circumstances. It is illegal to drive under the influence of any substance that impairs your ability to drive safely. This includes alcohol, prescription medications, over-the-counter medications, and illegal drugs. If you want to pass a pedestrian who is walking along the roadway and an oncoming vehicle is approaching, you should A. Slow down and let the oncoming vehicle pass before you pass the pedestrian. B. Keep driving at a steady speed. The oncoming vehicle must stop for you. C. Honk your horn to get the pedestrian to move over. A. Slow down and let the oncoming vehicle pass before you pass the pedestrian. If possible, try to only deal with one roadway hazard at a time. If you want to pass a pedestrian but an oncoming vehicle is approaching, slow down and let the vehicle pass. You may then pass the pedestrian if it is safe to do so. A driver should A. Stare directly in front of their car. B. Only focus on the middle of the road. C. Watch beside, ahead, and to the rear of their car. C. Watch beside, ahead, and to the rear of their car. A driver should watch beside, ahead, and to the rear of their car. To be a good driver, you must know what is happening all around your vehicle. This sign is a warning that you are approaching A. An intersection. B. A crosswalk. C. A railroad crossing. C. A railroad crossing. A round sign means you are approaching a railroad crossing. This sign is posted a few hundred feet in front of the tracks and tells drivers to slow down, look, listen, and prepare to stop. This sign means A. Crossroad ahead. B. Merge. C. Stop. A. Crossroad ahead. This sign indicates that there is a crossroad ahead. Should you always drive more slowly than other traffic? A. No, you can block traffic when you drive too slowly. B. Yes, it is a good defensive driving technique. C. Yes, it is always safer than driving faster than other traffic. When making a right turn, you should not A. Signal to other drivers. B. Swing too wide for your lane. C. Slow down. B. Swing too wide for your lane. When turning right, you should slow down and activate your turn signal before making the turn. Be careful not to turn too wide for your lane, as this may interfere with traffic. When turning left at an intersection. A. You should always yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. B. Oncoming traffic and pedestrians should yield to you. C. You should never yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. A. You should always yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. Drivers making left turns must yield to oncoming traffic that is traveling straight. Drivers must always yield to pedestrians. Just like alcohol and other drugs, drowsiness can A. Help you to be a better driver. B. Make you feel better. C. Impair your judgment. C. Impair your judgment. Not getting enough sleep is a cause of poor driving behavior. Just like drugs and alcohol, sleepiness slows reaction time, decreases awareness, and impairs judgment. Drivers turning left must yield to A. Oncoming vehicles traveling straight or turning right. B. Passing cars. C. No one in particular. A. Oncoming vehicles traveling straight or turning right. Drivers making a left turn must yield to all vehicles approaching from the opposite direction. This includes bicycles and motorcycles. You are coming to an intersection with a flashing red light. You should A. Slow down and yield the right of way. B. Slow down and drive carefully through the intersection. C. Come to a complete stop, check the traffic, and go when it is safe to do so. C. Come to a complete stop, check the traffic, and go when it is safe to do so. A flashing red traffic light means the same thing as a stop sign. You must come to a complete stop, yield to other traffic and pedestrians, and then proceed when it's safe to do so. This sign means A. Yield sign ahead. B. Side road entering from left. C. Stop sign ahead. A. Yield sign ahead. This sign indicates that there is a yield sign ahead. You should begin to slow down when you see this warning sign. You are preparing to exit the interstate. When should you start reducing your speed? A. About halfway through the deceleration lane. B. As you approach the deceleration lane. C. Immediately upon entering the deceleration lane. C. Immediately upon entering the deceleration lane. When leaving an interstate, you should maintain your speed until you enter the deceleration lane, at which point you should reduce your speed to the exit ramp's posted advisory speed. Which of the following blocks the smooth flow of traffic? A. Slowing down to look at collision scene. B. Avoiding unnecessary lane changes. C. Using public transportation instead of your vehicle. A. Slowing down to look at collision scene. Rubbernecking, the practice of slowing down to look at collisions or other out-of-the-ordinary things, contributes to traffic congestion and should be avoided. Having a driver license is a requirement. B. Privilege. C. Right. B. Privilege. It is important to remember that driving is a privilege and that all drivers play a role in ensuring that everyone remains safe on the roadways. If you prove to be abusive of that privilege, the privilege may be revoked. This road sign means A. The roadway ends ahead. B. Drivers must bear either right or left. C. A four-way intersection is ahead. B. Drivers must bear either right or left. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign warns drivers that they are arriving upon a fork in the road and they must bear either right or left.